Hello, my wonderful spirit guides. So today's video is just kind of information about the channel, myself, personal life stuff and how that affects the channel and how it doesn't affect the channel, how the, you know what I mean, how the channel affects my personal life, how my personal life affects the channel. Whatever, you understand. Yeah, there's a lot of info in this, so I do recommend you watching it if you're subscribed to this channel and love watching my reactions and so on. Yeah, it'd be beneficial for you to get all the info, and it's beneficial for me as well, just to get it all out so it all makes sense, and that I feel fully with it. I can't explain it, but like my brain has been so clogged up recently with all these different thoughts and ideas and decisions and lack of decisions, lack of motivation, and it's all been going a bit spiraling a bit, so it'd be good for me to get it all out as well so that we're all in the clear with it. So the things I'm going to be talking about today is monetization and copyright. Next thing is going to be a possible second channel, then the next thing is going to be like Patreon and just talking about that a little bit, nothing big about that, but just a little bit. How I've changed since addiction and grief, and how that kind of affects this and so on. And then that leads to my energy levels and motivation and so on like that. Also towards the end, I'm going to be talking about how I want to get stronger physically, because I have a lot of fear and restrictions around that, like my body and so on. And then that's the end. But yeah, the most important things are at the top. The bits at the end are things that I do think you should watch though, just because it really is kind of the core of everything in some ways. Not everything, but it is kind of the core of a lot of things. So yeah, I'm going to get into it, but I'm also going to be doing my makeup at the same time. This isn't a predominantly makeup video. It's just saves time because I'm going to be doing a reaction video after this. So don't worry, things to do with the channel are nothing to do with not doing reaction videos anymore. That is just never going to happen, so don't even worry about that. First of all, I know I said that this isn't a makeup video, but this is what I use, right? It's like an oil face paint, right? So they're annoying for some things, but great for doing eyebrows. I just had to show you that because it is kind of interesting, and I use a little brush to do it. I guess you'll see what I do along the way. I do have to put a bit of foundation on around the eyes first though, sorry, I know it's not about makeup, but I do feel like I should like add little bits in here and there. With the makeup, it's always best just to do like a bit around the eyes at first, because you don't do the whole face, because when you do eyeshadow can drop onto your face, so you're just gonna have to scrub it off anyway. So yeah, that's a little tip, but I'll try not to talk about the makeup too much because I know this isn't a predominantly makeup channel. I know some people are interested, but I also know some probably are not. But yeah, anyway, number one, I want to talk about copyright, okay? So when I first started my channel, of course, you don't get monetized at all until you hit 1,000 subscribers, and you have to have 4,000 views or 4,000 hours met. I think it's 4,000 hours have to be met, or 4,000 minutes. I can't remember. It's 4,000 something before you can even get monetized. So you got to think, during that year, I wasn't being monetized, but I was creating content very frequently. And if you look back at some of my older videos, you'll see that like the way I edited the videos were a lot more lenient, less choppy. I would cut out smaller bits and so on. And, and I wasn't making money. And then when I finally got monetized, I would do the same type of editing, but I would dispute the claims. So I would say a whole long list of like, I'll actually put up here what I write usually, and it's changed over time. It changes frequently because I like to I like to change it a bit sometimes to see if something else works better than not, but it actually doesn't really matter what you write. Well, it matters what you write as long as you've got all the information in it, but it doesn't matter like in how you write it. It doesn't matter what way you put it. Claims either get cleared or they stay, so But anyway, so I would dispute videos, okay? And majority of the time, the claims would be rejected. which is obviously annoying. I put a lot of work into the videos. It is fair use because I'm talking, especially with my way of reacting, I often talk about like the music in detail. I talk about what it made me feel. I very much describe things, even things that are educational to some degree. It's a review more than just a reaction a lot of the time. What I do is completely fair use. However, YouTube doesn't look at it that way. And sometimes when I do try and dispute the claim, the record label might be like, nah, because they can easily just go rejected so that they get the money from my video. And it's in their right, I'm using their music, but at the same time, it's a little bit frustrating because it's like, I'm literally not even playing the whole song. I'm talking over the music. I'm pausing the music to talk. I am reviewing it. It's not like someone would rather watch my video than go listen to the album themselves. Plus, people have usually already listened to the album, you know, and my videos just inspire them to listen to it again. So it is very frustrating. So I got to a point where I was like, you know, especially last December, right? I think it was last December. Yeah, I think I did 4 Arca videos and a Bjork video, and all of them demonetized. And I thought, wow, like all these videos got a lot of views and I could have made like a decent penny because it was during December as well, the Christmas, you know, season, and I made absolutely zero. So I was just like, that's really upsetting. So I started to feel a little bit like depleted making videos, being like, I put so much effort into these videos, but I don't really make any money off it. So I thought, I'm going to try something new. And that is when, funnily enough, I contacted Ben Shouts, and I said to him, how do you never get claims on your videos? Because if you look in the description box, if you look to the bottom, it will show you, if there's a claim on it, it will show you music in this video, and it will come up with what the song is. If you don't see that, then usually it's because it hasn't been claimed. So I looked at his description and was like, how has he just not been claimed? So that is when I asked him how he does it. And then he told me he edits it in a certain way that can avoid it. And I was like, wow, okay. So I gave it a go, and it took me a few times to try and actually do it properly, and he helped me the way through it. And then, you know, when I first had that video where I edited it to the point where it didn't get claimed, I was like so excited because I was like, oh my gosh, this is a way of me being able to do everything like what I love and make some money from it. And the thing is with like YouTube, I didn't start it in the fact of thinking, I'm going to make thousands of pounds. I didn't think that, but I am poor. I am a poor person. So like it was exciting to me to think I could make a little bit of money and it would help my family, it would help my life. Like I struggle with mental health issues, and so does my partner. He does work, but it's like minimal work, and so, you know, we struggle and we got a kid and all these things, blah, blah, blah. So of course I did want to make a little penny, a little bit. So when I started editing in that way, it was helping. However, I didn't realize how time consuming the new way of editing was going to be. Ben is kind of like a master at it. He does find it time consuming too. And he really I want you to know how much effort he actually puts into just like trying to edit it and get them out as fast as possible and so on like that. He's amazing. But I started to feel a little bit like this is like, I did it for a while, but it started to drag me down, right? I started to feel like, okay, like this is a lot. And sometimes if my video doesn't get a lot of views, it wasn't worth it being, you know, claim free, copyright free in the first place, you know? So I then started doing it only to big videos like the Beyonce Renaissance reaction. And I'd have to say that video made me the most money that I've ever made on YouTube. It made up to like £100 or something. And that was like extremely exciting, especially because I'd like grueled over editing it all week. Just like, I think it may have even taken longer than a week just to try and cut out every bit that is claimed. And the thing is, you can upload a video and it'll be like, oh, you have a copyright claim from 2:30 to 3:30, and then you can try and edit those in between that bit, and then you upload it again, and within the same song it will claim another area of the song. So that's why it takes so long, and you're just there like, oh my god. So when I think about it, the amount of work I put in wasn't actually worth £100, because like I was working all day and like literally stressing and being like, I need to get this out in time and I want to get this out where it's still fresh and stuff. And I was going through a lot at the time and it was all like very, 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 very stressful. But yeah, like the seeing that money was exciting. It was like fun. It was like, oh, that's cool. Like I'm actually getting paid for this. But when I actually put it into perspective, it's not a lot for the amount of work I put in. So this leads me to what I want to do now. So I want to do more videos where they're like little short videos, you know, where I've been doing the Radiohead live stuff recently. And I don't want to have to cut them up. And I know a lot of people don't mind if I cut them up, like, but I don't want it. I want it to be about the spirit of, and I want you to enjoy every moment of me reacting to like shorter songs like that. And, you know, maybe what I'll do is like for patrons, I'll do like an extra song or extra something so that they get, you know, there's an exclusive benefit to that. It's not just the uncut stuff. It'll be like, oh, but you also get to watch this video. And that's already a thing on Patreon. There's already like quite a lot of exclusive videos on there. I've got videos that have not come to YouTube that I'm sure many of you would want to watch. So definitely go check it out. It's only £3 a month, literally. So you could watch like videos like my Mariah Carey, Tinashe, Black Dresses. There's like quite a lot on there. Dreamcatcher. Yeah, there's a lot on there that like hasn't come to YouTube, and it might do it at one point, but like you can watch it literally now for £3. I'm not saying £3 is like,
oh my god, anyone could afford £3.
But I do know that most people who are on the internet can go and get a coffee from Starbucks or Costa, and it's literally sometimes £3 is cheaper than that. So like, you know, if you would like to, you can do that. Not like, don't just do it for me, do it for you. Yeah, basically I do want to on YouTube be a bit more lax again. I want to not give a fuck about the monetization. Of course, I'll always dispute the claim. I'll always try and wait for the, you know, the money to come the next month if the claim does get released. A lot of the reason why I did this new type of editing too is because YouTube themselves screwed up my escrow process. So escrow is when you are waiting to see what the claimant has said, whether they have rejected your claim or released the claim. You're waiting. The escrow period is collecting money, like from the very start of posting the video, and then seeing where the money goes. So if I do get the claim released, then I get the money that was earned on the video. But YouTube did this thing where the money just wasn't there. Like it was just gone. And it took months and months and months to get it. And then I finally did, and it was like, oh, thank goodness for that. So I think the escrow process is working again. So if I do get some videos that are passed, you know, pass the claims, and it's a big win. But if I don't want to care about it that much. I don't want to, because I want to be able to edit in a smoother way, get more videos out for you, do what I love the most, which is listening to the music. The editing process can be a bit grueling, but it'll be less grueling if I don't have to chop it up so much, you know? And I know that you guys will enjoy it more. Like, why wouldn't you? If I went back to like a way that I did it before. Yeah, it may not be exactly how I did it before, just because I've got used to a new way of editing, but it will be better, and I'm not going to worry so much about the copyright and so on. Like most big reaction channels don't worry about that stuff. They just rely on the videos to be frequent, you know, maybe have a schedule and so on like that. And then, you know, just to put it bluntly, with more viewers and more of you trusting in me, feeling more secure in the fact that I'm going to do reactions more frequently, then at the end of the day, it means more patrons. And I know that seems like a ruthless thing to say, but I'm being authentic, you know. I am treating this whole thing as a business, otherwise I wouldn't have a Patreon. It's a job that is my dream job, and quite honestly, it's the only job that I feel capable of doing, because I get to, like, if I need a break, I will have a break. You are all so understanding. It's not like I have a boss that is like, no, you have to do this. It's like I can be in and out when needs be. Not that I want to, but I can. And a choice is choice. Choice. Choice is a wonderful thing, right? And as some of you might know, I am actually not liable to work a normal job because of my mental health, physical health, and so on like that. So this as a job, the fact that I'm even doing it, I don't even have to. I don't even have to. But I choose to because I want to. I love this. This makes me feel alive. It makes me feel connected. It makes me feel creative and happy. It makes me feel like I'm using my degree, my music degree, in the way it's intended. Talk about music, learning more. I love knowledge. I'm a Capricorn. I want to fucking work. But like, I can't work a lot of jobs, and I don't want to work some of the jobs, and I've tried, and it's been very bad. Sorry, I'm like being all like, hi ho ho, painting the picture for you. But so yeah, I am going to try and be a little bit more lax when it comes to cutting the videos. I'm going to try and like, I'm just saying this for now. I don't know what will happen in the future, but for now, I'm going to try and be a bit more lax and grit my teeth when I see it says demonetized and I get like 10,000 views even, and it's demonetized. I just have to be like, okay. That's, 10,000 views, probably like 50 quid of whatever I've missed out on, something around that. But what's more important, being able to get a video out in the next 2 days, or waiting a whole other week or more and stressing and grueling over it just to make maybe a few quid the next week? You know what I mean? Like, what's the point? And the thing is, I'm not a money-oriented person. I never have been. But I am quite precious when it comes to the fact that when I have money, I don't spend it willy-nilly. I really think about what I want to buy. I'm very smart with money, actually. And I try, and most of the time, I always buy things that will benefit everyone else in the family. I don't just go and spend loads of money on myself. And when I do it because I'm like, no, I actually deserve this. Yeah, at the moment, it's Christmas gifts. I want to be able to buy Christmas gifts for people. And so on like that. However, I do believe that getting more content out means more patrons, and I can focus on Patreon more as well. I've done my eyebrows really wonky at the moment, but don't worry, it will all be sorted. It's hard to talk and do the makeup at the same time, not gonna lie. Maybe I'll have to not do it. No, I'll do little bits in between. I then go in and use this little palette. I don't know what it is. It's just a tiny little pocket palette. It's tiny, sorry, all the fingerprints on it, but come on. I'm not going to keep that sparkly clean when I've got my foundation fingers all over it all the time. But I love this little palette. You can take it anywhere. And yeah, I just really like it. But then, yeah, I go in on this little brown powdery bit just to put over the top of the eyebrows, help shape them more, blah, blah, blah. But yeah, I'm hoping that my new plan of going back to basics, going back to how I used to do it, will maybe bring in more patrons and maybe, keep people happier, bring in more subscribers. And then, with more subscribers, that means in the future there's more things that I could do, like get sponsors at some point if I get bigger than I am, you know what I mean? If I get to like a good amount of subscribers, I can have sponsors, or I can make merch or find other ways to make money. Like, a lot of people say, don't think of YouTube as a career, think of it as a hobby. But the thing is, this is the only career that I want. But I am taking a back seat and going, okay, I'm not going to think too heavily about it being a career. Good things come to those who wait, and to those who aren't pushing really hard for something that they don't care about that much. I do care about money in the sense of to keep survival and keeping people happy and myself happy and my family happy, but not to the point where I'm like, I want big fancy cars and all this. I just want to be able to live somewhere nice one day, even if it's a rented place, but just somewhere a bit nicer than where I am, because like where I live isn't the greatest place. And I think a lot of people can, relate to that. And you make do with what you've got. And I have done that. I've lived here for nearly 10 years. I've literally moved out when I was 18 years old and I had a 1-year-old child. And I was on my own with my 1-year-old. And I've been living in this place since then. But it would be lovely to move one day, but I can't force the dream. I've got to enjoy the process. I'll get the money at the end of the day. I'll be able to do that one day, but it's not going to work when you push. You can only make that when you feel relaxed in what you're doing, you're enjoying what you're doing. Because you seeing my enjoyment will make you like the videos more. It will make you feel happy, and seeing it edited in a way where it's a lot smoother will make you happier. Being able to be more frequent will make you happier. And you being happy makes me happy. But that does now move me on to the fact that I want to make a second channel. I know, pretty crazy. I'm there going up talking about being more relaxed, and then I want to make a second channel. But actually, I think this will be relaxing for me, because I realise, I'm posting a lot of random stuff recently. Like, obviously, like this in some ways. This is kind of random, isn't it? But, well, it makes sense to the reactions, though, but, But when I post things like vlogs or dyeing my hair or talking about certain subjects, of course, the people who have subscribed to my channel haven't really come for those sorts of things. They've come for the reactions, and that's absolutely fair enough. Like, you subscribe to see what I think of about music and what my reactions are to it. I totally get that. That's like completely normal. So me throwing in random vlogs and stuff, some of you are like, oh, that's not really my thing. I never watch vlogs, So if I make a second channel, I can do it, all my vlog stuff, all my random videos that I have weird, like I've got an idea like that I want to do where I go out and about or around the house and use this and record sounds, like random sounds like this. I record it, and then I want to implement these sounds, these field recordings, into some music I make. I want to make a video around that. I think that'd be fun, but it's not a reaction, is it? It's completely different. Yes, it's still about music, but it's different, and I've got loads of funny ideas and interesting things that I want to do. So I think a second channel would be great for that. And the thing is, the other thing I realise is, like, I don't imagine getting half as many subscribers on that channel. I imagine getting like 20. You know what I mean? And the videos might only ever get like 30 views, but it keeps me sane. It keeps me sane. Who has a lot of struggles of mental health, physical health, money, family stuff, going outside, agoraphobia, and like lots of different things. I am relatable, but I'm also relatable in the sense that I'm very real. I'm very authentic. I don't sugarcoat shit. I literally am always just very real. Like, even the fact that I talk about money and all that, I will always do that. Like, it's who I am, and I'm never going to conceal who I am. So I feel like a second channel would be great for me, just to have fun and do funny ideas, but also vent and so on. And it'd be amazing if you join the second channel if you're into that stuff, but don't join it if you don't want to. You really don't have to. It's just if you'd be interested in seeing more about my life, or little funny videos like the field recording stuff, or whatever, Christmas videos or shopping videos, makeup videos, hair dyeing videos, or anything really. Just if something random happened in my day and I just want to vent about it, like that sort of stuff. So that's second channel stuff. Excited for that. But then it moves on to Patreon, and with Patreon, like, I love my patrons to pieces. They are so fucking loyal, sweet, patient. It's unreal. But I want to be able to. What I've been doing over there is doing, do you know what? I'm just going to finish my eyebrows quickly. Okay, the eyebrows are not perfect, but oh well. You'll be distracted by the rest of the makeup look. They're basically okay, so that's just me now. I used to be like there for hours, painstakingly trying to make them absolutely perfect, but nowadays I'm like, it's not that noticeable. But anyway, with Patreon, recently I've been doing videos where the middle tiers and sometimes top tiers, I kind of like alternate sometimes. So I go like just middle tiers, and then the next time I'll do like middle tiers and top tiers, and then that'll be just middle tiers and middle tiers and top tiers. But the middle tier, because I don't do live streams anymore, I do song request videos, and they have themes. So I recently did music video theme, which is really fun, and before that I did a Halloween special, and then before that was just any song, I think it was, because that was the first one I did. But that's so much fun, like, for me, because it's really fun to hear like almost like a mixtape of different songs, different sounds, different stuff, and it helps me get to know the patrons too, and like their style and who they are. It really gives me insight, so I feel like I build some close like personal bonds with the patrons as well. And I did when I did live streams as well, and like I might do live streams again, but I might do live streams not song request live streams, because I can't focus on the songs very well. But I might do like makeup live streams, chatting live streams on my second channel, or maybe this channel now and then. But you know, like I was saying earlier with YouTube, not making the videos so cut up and not worrying about copyright so much will give me time to focus on Patreon as well, and the requests that I get from Patreon, you know, album requests and so on like that. So it'll be a lot smoother and hopefully a bit faster. I can't guarantee that, but hopefully. Okay, so that's just stuff on Patreon, nothing too extreme, but there will always be fun stuff on Patreon. There'll always be stuff on Patreon that is different to YouTube. There'll always be extra content. There'll always be, you know, stuff like that. And I do kind of hope to put some of the song request videos on YouTube in one way or another, whether that be like 5 songs each time or whatever, I don't care, but it would be fun to do that as well, because I would like people on YouTube to see it. But you know, you always get things early access pretty much on Patreon, unless it's like a short video. And you'll always get things uncut, so you get to see everything in its full glory without any pauses, any cuts at all. So I definitely recommend being a patron. It's a very lovely little group over there, and yeah, and I obviously throughout the years I hope to build my Patreon list up. I do, and I'll continue to take care of it and nurture it and be appreciative of it, because you even spending any amount of money on stuff that I do will always be absolutely mind-blowing to me, and I will never not be grateful for that. And you do actually keep me afloat, and that's to the patrons, that you do keep me afloat. For real. I was really struggling before I did any of this YouTube stuff with money. I couldn't buy anything really. Like, I'm going to see Ethel Cain, and I'll move on to that in a bit, in London in a week. And not even a week now, I think it's, well, yeah, about a week. And like, I wouldn't have been able to do that without the patrons. I wouldn't have been able to afford that at all. And I didn't get to do a lot of fun things when I couldn't afford it. So it makes me so happy that not only have you shown me the music, but now I'm going to see the person playing the music that you guys, YouTube and Patreon, have shown me. You know? Like, it's just a full circle thing. I really do like to try and I'm going to try and vlog as much of that as well, so that like you guys get to join the journey with me. I like the full circle feeling. But yeah, so whatever. Moving on now. This might take a darker turn, but nothing too dark. It's nothing crazy. But I feel since I lost my beloved, most wonderful, beautiful, darling cat, Rain, really just breaks my heart. And it will forever. And I've never experienced that level of grief quite yet, which seems ridiculous because I've lost people in my life, but losing my cat was something else. It was like I went to full-on nihilism. It was yeah, really hard for me. And then to only like a few weeks later, maybe a month later, I went, all right, enough. I need to get off the medication I'm on. I need to stop this now. This is ridiculous, especially because I started taking more during my grief. So I made this crazy decision just to stop. Going through that was the hardest thing I've ever gone through in my life. And I've gone through a lot of shit. So that's saying something. But I have to say it's changed me as a person. And a lot of the ways it's changed me is great. But there's some difficult things too. Like, I'm a lot more tired now. And that leads me to this bit as well, like energy levels and motivation. Yeah, I'm so much more tired now because, and I was talking to my doctor the other day and I said to her, I'm so tired all the time now, but like codeine and like the opiates, aren't they meant to make you sleepy? She's like, well, there's caffeine in them as well. So I think the caffeine of the medication I was taking was keeping me awake, and especially because I used to have a lot of the medication, it would keep me awake even longer. And I'd always get sleep paralysis when I was on them as well. All the time. Honestly, it was like unreal how much sleep paralysis I would get. You'd think that would make me want to stop, but no. But yeah, so now my energy levels are slightly lower. Plus, I'm on a new medication for acid reflux, which works a fucking treat. I tell you, it is beautiful. But I'm not going to say what it is because, medication, different types aren't for everyone. And yeah, some people don't get along with this one. And, maybe in the future it won't work for me as well. But at the moment it's working great. But I keep feeling like, oh, is this making me tired? Am I getting a headache from it? I'm also on SSRIs, so serotonin uptake, reuptake, whatever the flipping out, basically antidepressants, but like mood stabilizer ones. And of course, they can make you feel hungry and tired and a bit lethargic. So I am on medications that are helping with a lot of things, but are making me extremely tired. So it's been kind of hard doing videos like as frequently as I used to because so much has changed about me, not just mentally, but physically. And it's sad because I mentally want to be doing them. I'm like, I want to do it. But then I'm physically like dying and I'm yawning all the time, even in the videos. Like I used to yawn anyway, but a lot of that was to do with like the medication I was on. But now I'm yawning because I'm actually tired, and it's just like, it looks like I'm bored, it looks like I'm not into it, but it's nothing to do with that. Sometimes I'll hear a song that's very chill and it makes me tired, but it's so frustrating because I'm like, I just want to get through the video and be like awake and normal, but now I'm just exhausted and it's so annoying. And then when I think of doing the editing, it makes me not want to do the video because I'm so tired. I'm like, oh, every time I edit and it's like a really grueling edit, I just fall asleep because it's so boring and tiring. So that's another reason why I don't want to edit the way I do. Like I want to be a bit more relaxed with it. Obviously still trying to fit into the guidelines of fair use. I'm not going to be doing uncut videos on YouTube and so on. But that's why I guess I've been a bit slower at the moment as well. Just so tired. I'm just trying to get used to, I'm adapting to this new life. Like I was on these pills for 2.5 years and now I have to get used to not being on them still, and I don't know how long that's going to take. I really don't, but I'm doing it and I don't ever want to go back on them again. Trust me, I don't. I am so over that, and I feel very lucky to say that. I might think sometimes little things like being tired will make me want to take one. I don't have any, don't worry. I'll be like, no, there are other ways that I can defeat this. There are other ways I can get through this. And even if it means I am tired forever, at least if you can understand. And that's enough, So I don't worry, I'm never going to go back to that. I never want to go through that again. I really don't. And I don't like weakness in that way. And that was a big old weakness moment. And I'm stronger than that. I've gotten through way too much to be that weak. And sometimes I'm vulnerable, sometimes I'm fragile, and that's okay. That's totally fine, but I'm not going to be weak. So don't worry, I'm never going to go back on that stuff. But yeah, so my energy levels are pretty low, and then that, affects my motivation, blah, blah, blah. You get it. It's never to do with the fact that I don't want to do a video. It's sometimes, the editing makes me not want to do a video. But now that I'm changing things up, I'm sure I'll feel a lot happier. And, maybe one day I'll be able to afford an editor. I can't right now, I have to do it myself. And that's totally fine. But, the more subscribers I get, the more likely I'll be able to get an editor at some point. And yeah, we'll see. But at the moment, I just want to try and enjoy editing again. I really would love to get a stand-up desk. Oh my God, this leads me to my next point. I am so physically weak. I used to be really quite strong, honestly, and I think I am strong. I could probably still knock someone out, but can't anyone really? Come on, surely anyone could if you did the right kind of swing. Not that I want to, but, just listen. Just listen. Just listen beyond what I'm trying to say here. That doesn't even make sense either. My brain, it's a little maze. It's very complex. Words come out, but they're cryptic. You have to kind of read between the lines. Right. Stop. What is going on? I don't know why I'm like this. I don't. Could be something to do with having possible ADHD, which I finally finished my form, which I'm so happy about. I haven't sent it off yet though. Oh, that's the next task. Sending it. Right. Okay, yeah, actually going to the ADHD. You've probably heard of it, but executive dysfunction. Me. Me. I'm so unable to do certain things. Like, I am not the tidiest person, I have to admit. Really not. I do try though. I always try, and I do little bits here and there, and my boyfriend helps me out so much. Thank goodness. My lovely little housewife. I'm just joking. But no, he is wonderful and does help me, and he understands a lot. And he knows I try so much, and like, you know, I often do things. Especially if like he'd say he's washing my dishes, I'll be like, oh, he said he would wash my dishes today, so I'll try and do something like fold the clothes. I'll always try and do something that I feel able to do. And then it kind of goes in a spiral because I've got lots of physical pain. So it makes it hard to do lots of physical things. And that goes back to me saying I'm weak physically. So at the moment, I'm going, like I said, I'm going to London in like a week. And I barely walk around. Like, honestly, I can't even explain. Like, I don't really leave the house, so of course I don't walk around all the time. And when I think of trying to do a walk, I have executive dysfunction, where my brain is like, I want nothing more than to get fit and to be stronger so I can be healthy and in less pain when I go and do big things like going to London, right? But there is this weird fucking reluctance in me, and I've had it all my life. And it's like this weird, like, paralysis, this like, I can't do it. I can't. Like, I literally can't. And it is unbelievably frustrating. And like when I was getting dialectical behavioural therapy years ago, I would talk about this to the therapist of like, why can't I get up and tidy? Why can't I get up and cook? Why can't I just get in the shower? Why do I have this weird willfulness to do it? And there is a certain thing in DBT called willingness and willfulness. And sometimes with BBD, you can be willful to do things. However, it didn't feel like willfulness because I do want to do the things. It wasn't like a bitter thing there. It was more like, I don't feel willful, I feel paralyzed. And that's totally true. It's a real thing. So I did some Pilates this morning for the first time, and it was really hard. Like, I was on like the very, very beginner session, and all it did was remind me how weak I am. And I was like, okay, but I am excited to follow it on and see if I get stronger. And I know I can, but it's just so difficult. So I'm very weak, and I think that can make me feel more tired as well, more lethargic. You know, and if I actually, you know, did more exercise, felt stronger, I wouldn't get bad backs as much. I'd probably have a bit more energy, to be honest, just by doing more of my day. So that's been a bit of an issue. I would love to, on my second channel, kind of talk about that and talk about how far I'm getting, you know, talk about the days where I've like done nothing, and then talk about the days where I've done so much and I feel really proud and I want to carry on the journey and tell you how it's going, especially for you who can relate to what I'm saying, who like also feel that way about like exercise and so on like that. I would love to, you know, talk about it and be completely real, authentic, tell you how the journey's going and so on like that. Maybe share healthy food recipes when I've not been eating well. Like, it motivates me to do it, you know, to be able to talk about it, and it holds me accountable. That's what it does. It gives me some like accountability and responsibility, and I want to be good for you guys. I want to be good for my family and so on like that. I want to be good for my friends and so on, because I know when I go to London, I'm going with a good friend of mine, but you know, there will be things that I can't do, and I don't want to be like that. Like, I want to be able to do as much as I can and have that be not the minimum, you know? So yeah, my energy levels are a bit off at the moment, but I know I need to get stronger. I know that by doing YouTube the way I used to do it a bit more, will feel easier. I'll have more time to focus on myself and personal things as well. So I mean, I'm hoping this all works out. I can't actually say it's going to fully work, but I think that this is a positive changes I need to make. And guess what? What brought me to this clarity tarot cards. Not joking. I did like a 10 card spread, and I said, what do I do? What do I do? How do I get more motivated? How do I get the energy up? How do I do this? How do I do that? And the spread just kind of led me to this whole thing of like, you can do what you put your mind to, and you may have a million ideas all scattering around, but just focus on one thing. And I think that doesn't mean that like, oh, don't make the second channel, don't do this, don't do that. It to me, it felt like, don't focus on the money side of things, because there was also a card saying like, let that go, like let the monetization thing kind of go. It didn't say that, but it basically meant that. So then you can actually spend more time doing other things like being with family and doing personal development. And it also had like, my present card was the devil, and I got that because the devil is very much to do with negative forces kind of taking you away from your true path, and it's about addiction too. And I don't want to be addicted to making money. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, I want to make money. Fuck yeah, of course I do. But I don't want it to be the main thing. And it's not the main thing, but I just don't want it to become the main thing. I never do. So, and it's all about like, yeah, like negative voices, negative things telling me I can't do things, but I can. So that was my present card, and I want to get out of that. The next card was my higher self, where I want to be, and that card resembled being taking it easy, not worrying too much about money, not da 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 da. So it all like worked out it, and I was like, oh my god, this is too on point. I have to listen. So, and then my very and then my advice card, which was the last card, was the temperance, and the temperance is all about balance and doing everything in a balance, and like, you know, being looking at things from all sides, keeping it very, yeah, in balance. And that's the advice I was given by the cards, and I was like, you're so fucking right. And like, that's what made me want to do the second channel too, because the balance is, yeah, I'll do reaction videos where it's all very analytical and like, and I love them so much. But then the other balance is just me, who I am, just chilling, doing what I want, being able to balance both those things. It's actually really fun and really an exciting prospect. But anyway, I haven't finished my makeup at all, but I know I'll be a lot quicker if I just shut up. So I'll show you the makeup look at the end, but I think that is it. I've talked a lot, and I've probably repeated myself a billion times, and I could just hear my old lecturers being like, great essay, but you've repeated yourself many times. Oh my god, let me know if any of you get that. When I say, you kind of repeated yourself a lot. You've just said it in different words. And I'm like, and I used to be like, I used to do it in the same sentence. Literally like, la 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 la, la 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 la. And it would be like the same, I'm just repeating myself. But anyway, yeah, it's because I'm trying to fine tune it in my brain, you know. My brain works at a rapid pace, so I'm like, anyway, right. Shh. I'll show you my makeup at the end. Hi! So I finally finished my makeup, and it looks completely different. Like, the transformation from me without makeup to wearing makeup is like two different people, honestly. But yes, I just added like a lot of glitter. And yeah, just did some nice eye stuff. But yeah, hopefully you like it, and if you made it this far, thank you so much, and I really hope there was enough information in there so you can see where I'm at, what's going to be happening, blah blah blah. But yeah, have a lovely day, and bye.